This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in today's session, let's talk about profit center and cost center creation process alone. We are going to understand in simple how you are going to create a profit center, how we are going to create a cost center. Once we are clear with this master data creation of cost center, profit center, then we will understand what exactly is profit center, what exactly is the cost center, on what basis you are going to define them in a project. But before that, we have to have a clear understanding about how profit center, cost center is created on the system, like what information is needed, so that it will be easy for us to understand when we talk about the requirement. Now, here, 2 points you'll have to understand here. Profit center is mandatory for all the line items or all the accounts. Profit center is mandatory for all the line items or all the accounts whenever you post any transaction. When it comes to cost center, all the accounts in a document. And when we talk about cost center, this is mandatory for only P&L expenses if created as cost element. Otherwise, this is not mandatory. Cost center is mandatory only for P&L expenses if they are created as cost element. Otherwise, cost center is not mandatory. Now you have to have a clear understanding between these two, where you have to assign cost center, where you have to assign profit center. So remember, profit center is mandatory for all the line items. If you are posting 100 documents, each document, let's say, containing 2 line items, one debit, one credit. 100 into 2 will become 200 line items. For these 200 line items, profit center is a must. Wherever profit center is missing, system will not allow you to record the transaction. You will get an error stating balancing field profit center not filled. Okay, because profit center is mandatory for all the transactions according to new GL concept based on the document splitting functionality. It's a mandate requirement in every organization, in every project. No exception for this. Okay, no exception for this, irrespective of your practice company code in a real-time environment company code, there is no change. Keep in your mind, no profit center, no document in SAP. Second point on the cost center, this is not mandatory for everything. It is mandatory only for the P&L expense accounts if you treat your expense as a cost element. If you see, when you're creating a GL account, you have two categories for P&L. FS00. Here GL account type, you have three categories in your P&L. One is non-operating, primary and secondary. If you are taking any account from primary category, okay, any account from the primary category, cost center is mandatory, because for primary category you are going to treat that account as a cost element. For primary category, we are going to treat that account as a cost element. For any cost element, cost center is mandatory. If you want to record something in the cost center, you must use cost element. On the other side, if you want to record something in the cost element, cost center is required. These two combination will form a document in controlling. Now, profit centers are limited and cost centers are unlimited, which means I cannot have as many profit centers as I want. Okay, I cannot have as many profit centers as I want because this is a limited number. On the other side, cost centers is unlimited. I can create as many cost centers as I want. If I want 1000 cost centers, I am free to create 1000 cost centers. Nothing is going to stop me. Okay, you can create cost centers as you want. There is no restriction on it. But when it comes to profit center, this is having some limitations. You are not supposed to create so many profit centers. So you have to look at your financial reporting. Financial reporting like TB, P&L, balance sheet. First, you have to understand at what level you want to look at your trial balance, P&L, balance sheet. At each of the level where you want to see the trial balance, P&L, balance sheet, at that level you can create a profit center. Now, how you want to look at your balance sheet within your organization is purely your requirement. Okay, let's say if you talk about now, we are talking about Dell Computers India. Okay, we are talking about Dell Computers India Limited. If I write further more points about this, let's say I'll say head office is in Bangalore and I have different branches, let's say Hyderabad, Mumbai, Chennai, Pune, Delhi, Noida, something like this. You have a big list of branches where you're operating and you have one head office. This is one setup. And I may also tell I have different product lines within my Dell computers. I might say products is laptop is a product and I'll sell desktop is a product and then I'll tell accessories is another product, servicing is another product. I may tell this. I may also tell, let's say, states or city. This is city or branch. Okay. I may also tell state in which I am operating. Like I may say Maharashtra, I'll say Karnataka, I'll say Telangana, I'll say Andhra, next Tamil Nadu, something like this I'll put. Now, when I write this, I'll get a big list. Any organization, if you take, you can categorize their organization structure according to different dimensions. Here, one point we have taken according to the branch, second point we have taken according to the product, third point according to the state. Likewise, you can also take according to the store. You may be operating in different stores. You may have around 100 stores within India for Dell. Now, how you want to actually check your financials? On what basis you want to check your financials? First, we need to have a clarity there. When we talk about that clarity, we are representing this. And you are sure that at this level, I want to check my TB P&L balance sheet. At that level, wherever you feel you want this information, at that level, you are going to create profit center. That can be anything according to your requirement. But most commonly, that is considered as this. Okay, most commonly in any of the projects, in majority of the projects, we will be considering product line as your profit center. If I'm talking about Dell, I want to know my profitability at laptops, desktop, accessories and servicing. How I am performing or how my business is performing at laptop level, at desktop level, at accessories level, at servicing level. Because this will differentiate my nature of business. If I'm going ahead with branch, head office and all, everywhere I'm having 3-4 products. Correct? In every branch I'm dealing with this. I may be selling laptop, desktop, accessories and servicing. Similarly, in every state I might be selling this. So I may not be interested in this. Because if I go ahead here tomorrow if I want to know what am I getting by doing desktop business, is this giving me profits or not? Similarly, by manufacturing or by selling the accessories, am I making profits or not? If I want to find out all this kind of information, I need to decide at a level where I will be able to generate my trial balance, P&L, balance sheet. These are sub company codes within your company code, because normally at company code level you will be able to generate your trial balance, P&L, balance sheet at overall level, so which includes everything in one place. If I'm talking about sales, I'm talking about complete sales, sales of laptop, desktop, accessories, servicing together at my company code level. But tomorrow, my requirement is to understand, by selling the accessories or by investing in accessories, am I making profits or not? Is my accessories business or product line doing good or not? Then I will have to understand the financial position at accessories level alone, for which I want to track everything. What is the purchase of my accessories? What is the sales of my purchases accessories? What are the other operating expenses that I'm incurring on accessories? What assets I have for accessories? What liabilities I have for accessories? All these things I have to segregate, and then I need to find out whether this business is working out for me or not. For me to take these kind of decisions, I have no other option. But to take the financial reports at profit center level. Even if somebody is asking you tomorrow, be confident stating this is what used as your profit center in your projects. Don't mention this, don't mention this. You can create anything, but it all depends on your business requirement. This is the standard business requirement of most of the organizations. At product level, they are going to generate their profit center. Now, another point to be kept in your mind is this one, financial reporting. If you are not mentioning this point, the answer that you are telling for profit center is not convincing enough. Okay, so at what level you want to generate your financial statements, like TB, P&L, balance sheet, at that level you are going to create a profit center, and you need to have a clarity where do you want to see this report. So before we have this clarity, we should understand what is trial balance, what is P&L, what is balance sheet. These are mandatory reports to be generated or to be prepared on a monthly basis. Every month, every organization will make TB, P&L, balance sheet and freeze their financials. Okay, if somebody says we are currently in the month of May. For April, you may be freezing the numbers maybe from the next 5 working days or next 5 calendar days, assuming today is what we are going to finalize the April month financials. When I say April month financials, we are finalizing it today. Today we have to declare the profit for the organization. Today we have to declare what is the profit we have made from the month, from the transactions of your April month, for which you are going to consider all the transactions which are recorded in April month. And you will make a trial balance, you will make a P&L, you will make the balance sheet, and you will submit these reports to the management. Now, at what level you are going to generate these reports? Because for every product, you have something called product head. If I'm talking about laptop, for laptops, there will be a product head. The department of laptops is completely different. This is not connected to desktop. Staff who will work for laptop, the technicians will work for laptop, everything is different when it comes to a realistic organization environment. Similarly for desktop, accessories and servicing. Now, whenever you are deciding, let's say at product level, you want to look at your financial statements, every transaction that you are going to record in your company code must have a clear classification of profit center. If I'm spending some amount, let's say if I have some expense, I want to record the transaction of expense, assuming we do not have this profit center accounting activated, or we are not clear with the profit center accounting, we are not clear with cost center accounting. We are just like that creating and posting the entries left and right. Impact of these kind of postings, let's understand now. Let's say admin expenses, some 50,000. Now everybody is clear what will be the accounting entry for admin expenses. Let me write admin expenses debit, assuming bank outgoing credit. I'll put 50,000 and I'll put 50,000 here. If I look at this at the transaction level, my amount is becoming 0, which means debit credit must become 0 in order to post any transaction in accounting. Debit amount must be equivalent to credit amount, which is happening here. This is at overall organization level because this is the total expense for the company. But why did we spend this 50,000? Within your organization, you have 4 classifications according to this. Right? You have 4 classifications according to this. Now this 50,000 administration expense belongs to what? Where do you want to charge this 50,000? Whether you are going to charge 50,000 to laptop, desktop, accessories or servicing. If this is directly connected to any of your product line, you are directly going to assign that product line relevant cost center or profit center. If not, you are going to have common profit center. You are going to have common profit center. Not everything can be directly allocated. So there are certain things which will be shared. If you have some employees, let's say this employee is working not only for laptop but also for other products. No other option, you'll have to pay him salary, but you have to share his cost. When I say you have to share his cost, let's say if you are paying some 1 lakh rupees salary to an employee who is working for both a laptop and a desktop. Let's say he is a technician or he is a service engineer who is working for both laptop and a desktop, and his cost is 1 lakh per month for the organization. Now the organization will decide based on the nature of work that he is doing, whether they will decide 50% we will share to the desktop product, 50% of his cost will be shared by the laptop division, or they might say 30% is for desktop, 70% is for laptop. Now every organization will have certain calculations. They will tell you all these logics. And wherever you have a shared cost centers or wherever you have a shared cost or a common cost, you call it as pooled expenses or pooled transactions. So you are going to accumulate the expenses or the transactions during the month. At the month end, you are going to do allocation. At the month end, when you perform the allocation, you can allocate transaction value from cost center to cost center or from profit center to profit center. Okay, now technically only 4 are your products. This 5th one is not your actual product. Only used for accommodating common transactions. Wherever I am not able to decide thus this transaction belongs to laptop, desktop, accessory or servicing, I am going to put that under common profit center, and at the month end I have to allocate this cost or this amount from common profit center to the 4 respective profit centers. So this is called your allocations. So at the month end, you will be having allocations. You will be allocating from cost center to cost center, profit center to profit center. Now, why these are all have to be done? This is already there in profit center because this is not actual product. At the time of capturing or at the time of recording the transaction, we do not know to which product we need to allot this. We will be taking all such transactions in a common profit center. At the month end, you will be allocating it. Now, when you see this, let's say for product laptop, assuming Mr. A is responsible or Mr. A is head, for this Mr. B is head, for this Mr. C is the head, for this Mr. D is the head, for this there will be nobody because this is not an actual product in your organization. This is a temporary profit center created to meet your common expenses or common transactions. Now, when we talk about product head for each profit center, what these people are going to do at the end of every month, Mr. A is going to generate TB P&L balance sheet of laptop alone. Similarly, they'll do this. And they are going to analyze each and every transaction because they are the product head. They know all the numbers, all the figures on their fingertips. So they will have all the transaction approximate figures on their mind, on their fingertips. How much sales we have done, how much we have spent, what assets we purchased this month, what is the headcount of our staff, what are the expenses that we are incurring, on what sources we are receiving the income, everything they must be aware of it. When they generate these reports, the intention is to verify that in your profit center or in your product, all the transactions are appearing correct, and whatever the profit loss that you are making, you are agreeing to it. Profit loss that you are making from this product, you are agreeing to it. Like Mr. A is answerable for this profit, this P&L result. He has to say, okay, this result is fine. We got some profit. According to our business transactions, yes, this profit is a correct number. Similarly, here, let's say at servicing or at accessories, we got loss. Mr. C, who is the head of this product, will have to accept, yes, there is a loss. Now, when you see that at a particular product level you are incurring losses, you will try to take some different strategical decisions, either to improve the product or to decrease the investment that you are going to do here. Because to take these kind of decisions, you must require profit center accounting, and at this profit center level, you must generate financial statement. And the way we talk about document splitting and all, right, that is because of this reason. This is one of the reasons why you need to use document splitting in SAP. Why you need to make sure profit center is mandatory, you need to tick document splitting enabled, you have to use active passive zero balance splitting methods to ensure that these requirements are met. This is standard mandatory requirement in every organization who uses SAP. Okay, that is the reason right from the beginning we were talking that TB P&L balance sheet is a must, and no profit center, no document. Strictly this point has to sit in your mind. If there is no profit center, you are not supposed to record any document, because these kind of documents will never get posted in any organization. If this is not posted anywhere, you are not supposed to post in your company code also. Okay, tomorrow when you join an organization, when you look at any document, the way you are posting here, the way it is posted there should be similar. You must feel, yes, I also posted in the similar way. You should not find a difference. I did in a different way, here they are doing in a different way. There may be small differences which are business process related differences, but not standard SAP process related differences. From system point of view, you should find everything similar. From business point of view, every organization will have their own process. You will find differences there. But when you bring that into SAP, you should find similarity, because these are common applications used across the world by different companies. Wherever you join, your single knowledge, your one-time effort that you are putting in must help everywhere. Because on the same logic, every organization will work. On the same logic, every consultant will set up the system. Okay, you must have heard something called standard SAP. Anybody heard a term called standard SAP and customized SAP?
Yes, sir.
Right? So you have to understand first what is standard SAP. When we talk about standard SAP, why profit centers are created, at what level profit centers are created. Your standard SAP tells create product line as profit center. Now this is what is created in most of the organizations as a profit center. Now if you want to experiment, you are free to create on any basis. System is not going to stop, but the only prerequisite is please create a profit center wherever you have a requirement to generate this. Otherwise, please create a cost center, because there is no purpose of creating a number of profit centers if you really do not have this requirement. Because at every profit center level, you want to monitor your performance. Let's say if I have somewhere around some 80 branches or 80 stores of Dell in India. Now I have to decide how I want to consolidate. Let's say store wise, do I need to prepare my financials every month? Let's say I have 80 stores, 80 outlets. Okay, 80 Dell outlets I have within India. Now in every outlet, I'll be doing the sales. I have four products in every outlet, correct? Maybe in a shopping mall, I'll have an outlet. Maybe in somewhere in city center, I'll have another outlet. Somewhere at outskirt, I'll have another outlet. Likewise, at India level, I am operating with 80 outlets. Now, at each outlet, I have somebody called store in charge or store manager. Now, at each of these outlets, am I supposed to create P&L or am I supposed to create only balance sheet or both? Now, if you create 80 profit centers for everything, every month you'll have to prepare 80 trial balances, 80 P&Ls, 80 balance sheets. Correct? If I create 80 profit centers, I'll have to create 80 trial balances, 80 P&Ls, 80 balance sheet. Every store in charge or every store manager will have to pull out this report. They have to approve. But if you're talking about 80 outlets, at these 80 outlets, what are the normal transactions? Every transaction that happens in these 80 outlets is called as day-to-day business operations. Yes, no? On these 80
Yes, sir.
outlets, whatever the transactions that happen on a daily basis are called normal day-to-day business transactions, which may be your sales, purchases, expenses, some income. Most of your transactions at each store level is a P&L in nature. Is what? Is a P&L in nature. So when my most of the transactions are P&L in nature, I do not want to create balance sheet of every store. I don't want to create balance sheet for every store. Instead, I want to create a balance sheet maybe at city level, maybe at state level, maybe at some other level. So I'll have to properly list out my org structure first. If I'm operating Dell, if I have 80 outlets, where are these 80 outlets? These 80 outlets are part of which state, which state or which city. I have to categorize properly. Then I have to decide on what basis I have to do it. Now, if your client says, okay, create 80 profit centers, then you'll have to do month-end activities for every profit center, every cost center in a month. And you will see that why we have to do all these things. Because you have created profit centers. If you create it like this is what is supposed to happen. So which means just like that, we cannot create profit center. If you create the profit center, the purpose of profit center is exploited. But nobody will stop you creating multiple profit centers. Everybody will tell according to your requirement, we will do it. But this is the standard process. Even as a consultant, tomorrow you are going to talk the same thing with your client. Your client says, no, 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 we want like this. Fine, we will be creating like this as profit center because it is your requirement. We have told this is the standard business process. But you said, no, I want like this. We will go ahead with like this. But when you create a profit center, you have to make sure you will be able to differentiate each and every business transaction at profit center level. When I say you'll be able to differentiate profit center at every business transaction level, there are certain things which are directly connected to profit center, like your material. Okay, if you talk about material, if I have laptop, let's say one model of laptop, if this model of laptop is available, one model of laptop can be available in any of the stores, correct? If you have 80 stores, if I have one laptop, this one laptop may be available in 80 outlets, or this one laptop may be available only in 30-40 outlets. Possible? Now every outlet, if you are treating as a profit center, this material, this laptop is connected to this outlet profit center. And if you want to sell this profit center from another outlet, you have to do a stock transfer from this outlet. Why you are doing this stock transfer? Because you have a different profit center for this, different profit center for that. every material master is supposed to be assigned with a profit center, which profit center this material belongs to. And if you are doing a transaction between your internal, like you're transferring the stock and all, you'll have to perform another transaction. You'll have to stock out here, you'll have to do a stock in there. So associated impact with this we have to understand. Okay, so when we talk about material ledger and all, at that time I'm going to talk about all the other points connected to your stock and all. But remember, we are going ahead with this. Clear? We are going ahead with this. Tomorrow if somebody is asking you, be confident telling at product level you were creating profit centers. In all your clients, in all your projects that you worked before, product was the profit center. Right? Majoritarily, this is what is used in every organization. And if you are creating an experienced resume, take your client, put that client name on Google. For every client name, if you put it on Google, you will find about us or products and services. Open the drop down at products and services, you will come to know what is what. Okay. Or if you are still confused what is this product line, open any of the e-commerce website. If you open Tmart, if you open Amazon, if you open Flipkart, Amazon, if you open, you might be having thousands of products in Amazon, but you will find something called only mobiles and accessories, correct? Computers and laptops, household furniture, clothing. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Now, all these headings that you are finding, if you click on that, you will get subheading. Right? If you click on mobiles and services, you may get smartphone, Android phone, or keyboard phone, something like you'll have additional classification. Similarly, if you click on clothing, you may get menswear, kidswear, women wear, ethnic wear, something like that you will get. If you click on footwear, you will again get kidswear and all. Now, but broadly, they have classified one heading for all the products. They have grouped into one product category, product line. Correct?
Yes,
To
sir.
have a better understanding of this, take at least 3 to 5 this e-commerce websites or any website, whatever you feel comfortable, whatever you feel you have familiarity of this. Now everybody would have done grocery shopping. Open DMart website or Reliance Mart website, something like this. Any grocery websites you open, check the classifications, how they are classifying. You got what I'm telling, right? You will not find exactly whatever you want. It will be under one category, one heading. If you click on that, you will get another drop down. The main heading that you are finding on the e-commerce portal for anything, for any business line, those things we are going to treat as profit centers. And that is how every organization, every client, every business will give you the requirement when you are talking to them. We are not supposed to talk about all these things. We are only supposed to tell this is how SAP works. They are going to explain us everything, their business process. Because I do not know, you do not know what they are doing. They will tell us this is what is our business process. At this level, currently we are doing the reporting. In SAP also, we want to continue the similar reporting. Right? When they are coming into SAP, they are not going to change their business process. You have to be very specific. If I am working, if I am operating my business from last 10 years, let's say I am using Oracle or JD Edwards, any other application. Now I am planning to switch over to SAP. I am not going to change my business process for the sake of SAP. Instead, I will change SAP for my business process. I'm not changing my business process for SAP. I'm not molding my business process. Instead, I am molding the SAP. That is where you get a term called customization. Nobody will tell customized business process. Everybody will tell customized SAP. Am I correct? Correct? You'll tell custom business process or customized SAP. You heard this, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now this customized business process means whatever your client is doing is not standard process. When we say not standard process, the same functionality is not available in SAP. It is there, but it is not meeting their expectation. You need to do some modifications. Option number 1, modify SAP. Option number 2, modify your client business process. It is not so easy to modify client business process, because they will tell, we have been using this process from last 10 years. This is our group policy. They'll simply tell, this is our corporate policy. This is our company's policy. We are not going to change this. You cannot say, no, you cannot do this in SAP. If you say that you cannot do this in SAP, they will tell, okay, you are telling we cannot do this in SAP. You please move out. We'll bring somebody who will tell, yes, we can do it in SAP. This is what happens in reality. Okay, client will not listen to you if you say this is not possible unless you give strong reasons. You have to give valid reasons with a supporting. When I say with a supporting, that this functionality is not supportive in SAP. Either you need to attach, if there is any SAP note, for certain things you will find SAP note. SAP will tell this kind of a functionality or this kind of a process is not suitable in SAP or will not work in SAP, or this is not recommended in SAP. Such kind of SAP notes you'll have to provide to them, or you need to raise one incident to the SAP asking their clarification, their opinion about this kind of changes. If they tell yes, you can do it, or if they tell you can do it but it has got some risks involved in it, do thorough investigation and all before you proceed. These kind of things you'll have to inform to your client. We will do it, but we are not sure whether this will work or not. We'll have to go on a trial and error basis. There is a risk involved in it. The existing processes may get affected and all. Please acknowledge that you are fine with this risk in case if any. Your client says, okay, we are ready to take the risk, then you will start experimenting. Trial and error. You don't know whether this will work or not, but you will put in your effort. Now, when you come to at this level, your client will tell, okay, we'll go ahead with the other alternative approach. Nobody will take risk. They'll tell, okay, we'll go ahead with alternative approach. But to convert your client into an alternative approach, you should have strong reasons to convince. Okay, just like that on Google, whatever we find, on YouTube, whatever we find, if we tell them, they will not listen to us. You need to give a written communication or written content provided by SAP, like your SAP note, or you'll have to raise an incident to SAP, share that to your client. We've checked with SAP, this is not possible or this is not feasible. Okay, so why we are talking about all this now is to understand how requirements will come up in your projects. Okay,
Ajay,
make
this
sure.
scenario will. Hello.
Yes.
So this can be applicable in both service sector and product-based sector.
Any.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, in any industry, in any sector, this is how we are going to define the profit centers, product level. Okay, you keep only this point in your mind. For profit center, it's product level. Unless you work in a project, unless you see practically, okay, this is also a profit center, till the time you see this practically on your project, keep only one thing in your mind. Don't put any second point. Straightforward, only one point. But if you're showing as an experienced profiles for your interviews, make sure the client that you're projecting, Google that client name, look at the products. What are the products and services? Accordingly, you have your own idea. What are the products? What are the profit centers? You might get a question in your interview, what profit centers you have created? On what basis your profit centers are created? Because for every profit center, for every cost center, there will be a logic. These are logic based master records. We cannot create just like that whatever we want to create as profit center, cost center. For this, there will be a logic. There is something called a naming convention logic. Based on this naming convention, logic only, you have to create new profit center or new cost center. New cost center you can create at any given point of time, but when you're creating a new profit center, it's kind of a mini project. You'll have to do different mappings and all. It's not about just going into KE51, creating a profit center, activate, over. That is not your profit center creation when you're in a project. You'll have to understand why this new profit center is created, because it's kind of a different business process, business unit altogether, wherein you are going to capture the profits. Okay, you'll have to record all the transactions at that profit center level, and you'll have to create a separate master records. You'll have to have a separate plant. You need to have separate sales organization and all. Different setup will have to be made if you are creating a new profit center. Okay, now according to our example, for our company code Dell Computers India Limited, we will be proceeding with these 4 profit centers: laptop, desktop, accessories, and servicing. And when it comes to cost center, this is your internal reporting. Cost, plan versus actual. Okay, this is only your internal reporting to track what is your planned cost, what is your actual cost, what is the variance. Right, for every expense I am going to have some plan. I'm not going to have freedom to spend whatever I want. Anything that I'm spending in any organization, I'll have a limit. So this limit is called as budget. For every P&L account, you are going to budget the amount at the beginning of the year. Now this budget which you are planning at the beginning of the year will be uploaded, will be recorded in SAP against every cost center. Now during the year, during the month, whatever the budget you have, you need to ensure that you are not exceeding the budget, which means you have a control at cost center level, how much to spend, where to spend, because you'll have clear strict instructions from the management of any organization on your expenses. Let's say if you have some expense, some rent expense, according to rent expense, let's say you are supposed to spend only 40,000 per month. For some reason you are not able to find a premise or an office within 40,000, it's coming around 50,000. Your management will have to approve the additional 10,000, or you'll have to go to another location where you get within 40,000. But you cannot say this is comparatively big one and all. You cannot talk like this the way we talk in our personal life, because if you are increasing from 40,000 to 50,000, what is the justification you are giving? Why can't we move in? Why can't we run with 40,000 rented flat? What is the additional benefit that we are going to get by spending extra 10,000? All these kind of questions will come up in your organization before they approve the additional 10,000. If it is a small amount, they will approve it, but they will tell you did not plan it properly. When we say we did not plan it properly, is there no other option but only with this option left? No, right? There may be other alternatives. Please explore the other alternatives, because it has to be approved. Any amount that a company spends will have a lot of restrictions. We are not free to spend the way we want. Okay, because these are all based on the policies, internal accounting policies or internal group or corporate policies. So we are not supposed to breach these policies. You must follow this. If this is, let's say you are trying to reimburse something, you are trying to claim some expense. Now according to your designation, there will be a limit. Let's say if you are a senior consultant, you will be able to claim up to 500 rupees per meal. If you are having food outside, I can claim you up to 500, provided you are giving me a valid bill. If you are giving me a bill, now your eligibility is up to 500 rupees, but you are giving me a bill of only 350 rupees. Am I supposed to give you 500 or 350? If my eligibility is 500 to claim the expense, but I am giving bill only for 350, how much should I get, 350 or 500?
350.
350, sir.
I'll get only 350, right? Because anything that I am 500 is my eligibility. That does not mean I am spending 500. Every time if I put bill for 500, then there will be a question. How come he is spending exact amount every time? Is this a genuine bill? Agree? Correct? Huh? So when you get these kind of doubts, they will investigate. Your company might investigate, or you will have something called auditing. You have internal auditing, you have external auditing. This internal auditing and external auditing, what they will do, they will verify your transactions. Internal auditors is within your organization, every quarterly or every now and then they will be auditing. When it comes to your external auditing, they might pick randomly any samples. They will ask you to provide all the supporting for it. Let's say if you reimbursed, assuming they have spent some employee cost, employee lunch expense reimbursement, they have picked up that document. They want you to show the documentation for it. Okay, employee sent a request for uh, this lunch expense, lunch reimbursement. Okay, how your employee is creating this? Employee is creating via travel expense or normal JV he will pass. Where is the document? Now this employee, how do you know that this employee belongs to this department? Admin, cost center, whatever, which department he belongs to? Okay, when you are booking this expense, where are you booking? Are you booking this expense in the same cost center which your employee belongs to? If yes, okay, where is the bill? Okay, this is the bill. But unfortunately, if that is a manually written bill, why manual written bills are accepted? Why are you not accepting electronic bills? Because certain companies will not accept manual bills. Certain companies will accept only electronic bills, which means system generated bills. To ensure that you are having the genuine accounting bill or genuine bill, genuine transaction. Otherwise, we may get some empty bills, we will write and then we will claim. This is reality, but no other option. Your accountant or whosoever will not have any question if you give a bill, if you give a supporting. Now, they might ask, in which cost center is this booked? Is this booked in the same cost center of your employee who is claiming the bill? Yes. If yes, how this was reimbursed to your employee? Is this reimbursed through cash or through bank? You deposited in his salary. If you say we paid through cash, show me the cash transaction. If you say we deposited through bank, show me that bank entry. Show me the bank statement where this amount is credited to the employee and debited from your account. And is this reconciled in your BRS? If yes, show me that BRS entry. Now at this level, you are going to have your audit, which means in any of these processes, if your business or if your users are stuck, they are going to approach you. They will tell that we recorded this entry, but we don't know how this was paid. Please help me to identify how this entry was paid in SAP. Now, no other option. You have to log into SAP. You have to check. Okay, this is the expense. This is the employee, and you made a payment for this. On what date you booked the expense? On what date you made payment? All these things, as a consultant, you'll have to extract or you'll have to guide them how to pull out the information. Alright? Now, you have to keep in your mind anything that you're posting the transaction. Try to understand what happens with this transaction when you're in a project from the business point of view, so that it will be easy for you to connect different points, think, understand from a different perspective. And this understanding, these kind of examples is what people expect from you in your interviews. Okay. Now your cost centers are used for internal reporting wherever you want to capture the cost. Wherever you want to capture the cost, wherever you want to monitor the cost, at that level you can create a cost center. No limit. If I want to create 1000 cost centers, I can create 1000. If I want to create 10,000 cost centers, I can create 10,000 cost center. No limit for this. No standard rule for it. You create as and when you want a new cost center. I want to know how much we are spending at this place. That can be a person, that can be a department, division, anything. Whatever you want, you create as a cost center, no limit. Here you can assume according to your wish. But every cost center will be connected to a profit center. Even if you create 1000 cost centers, you will have to map these 1000 cost centers within 4 profit centers. Right? Any cost center that you are going to create will have to have a profit center mapped to it. So if I'm having 1000 cost centers, I'm not going to have 1000 cost profit centers. These 1000 cost centers will be mapped to 4 profit centers only. Okay. Now, in short, certain cost centers like I will write finance department. Just an example. Later on, we are going to discuss about cost center hierarchy, profit center hierarchy, how we are going to define this. But now we are only trying to understand standard basic version of cost center, profit center, how this will be brought into the system. I'll say finance department, admin department, sales department, purchase department, marketing department, research and development department, HR department, let's say logistics department. Like this, I'll have different departments or different things, whatever I want. I'll say CFO, CEO, right? I want to know how much I'm spending on CFO, how much I'm spending on CEO, or how much I'm spending on CTO, like this. CFO is an employee. I also want to know expats, how much I'm spending on expats. Now here when I'm talking about CFO, CEO, this is an individual staff. I want to track because I will be giving different facilities apart from salaries. I may be giving salary, I may be giving house, car. For car, I'll be giving fuel from the office side. I'll be appointing a driver. Driver salary is paid by the company. I'll be providing him a house. This house maintenance rent is paid by the organization. In the house, I'll be providing all the utilities like electricity bill, current bill, gas bill, water bill. Everything is paid by the company. Maids are appointed. Maid salary is paid by the company. In the house, it's a fully furnished. All the furniture is bought by the company. Yes, no? Now I want to track how much exactly I'm spending per month on CFO. I'll be booking all these expenses on this CFO cost center. When I pull this report for this cost center, I will come to know the cost. Right? Likewise, company will create different cost centers wherever they want to track the cost or monitor the cost. Now, if I say this, there are certain things which are independent, there are certain things which are dependent. If I say finance department, I may say finance department is not common, it is individual. I may say finance department for laptops. I might also say finance department for desktops. I might say finance department for accessories. I might also say finance department for servicing. I may have different finance department. The accountant who is going to work on desktop may be different. Accountant who is going to work on desktop accessories servicing may be different. If I have like that requirement, no other option, I'll have to create separate department for each of my product, so that any finance related cost related to laptop will be booked in this cost center. Any finance related cost related to desktop will be booked in this cost center. Similarly, admin. If I have admin as a common, I'll put this admin as common. When I talk about admin as a common cost center, this administration department may be common for all the 4 departments, for all the 4 products. Same admin team is working for laptop, desktop, accessories and servicing. And whatever the cost you are incurring for your admin department, you will have to settle the cost between these 4 products. You'll have to settle the cost between these 4 products. Here you will have something called cost allocation. You'll have to allocate the cost from your common cost center to the respective cost center. Okay. So likewise, you can keep on writing the number of cost centers that comes in your mind, because there is no limit. Whatever the cost center you feel like you want to create is valid, agreed, accepted everywhere. Because you want to capture the cost at this level. You are creating a cost center, purpose fulfilled. Nobody will raise a question, because you are only going to see what is the cost in cost center. Cost center is a single entry line. Cost center will not show you debit credit, it will only show either debit or credit. Right? Whatever is happening to your cost center, only that cost center level information is captured. Let's say if I pass a rent debit, vendor credit. Here I put cost center, here also I put cost center, here I'll put profit center, here also I'll put profit center. But profit center I am supposed to put at two levels. This is correct. But am I supposed to put cost center at two levels or only at one level? Cost center I am supposed to put only at one level. Cost center is strictly for P&L expense related accounts. In this transaction, rent is a P&L expense. Here this is valid. But this is balance sheet account. Any balance sheet account, straight away cost center is ruled out. Any balance sheet account, you are not supposed to put cost center. It is ruled out. Okay, cost center is there only on the rent. When I pull the cost center report, let's say I'll put cost center report, I'll put profit center report. When I pull cost center report, in my cost center I only have debit. Let's say the amount is some 100. I'll say this 100 credit. On my cost center report, I am going to show a debit balance of 100. Cost center report will show debit balance of 100, because in cost center I only have one line with debit. For the credit there is no cost center. If there is no cost center, your cost center report will not capture the information. When I pull the cost center report, I am only going to get this side, only debit side. The other side is not part of your cost center report because there is no cost center in it. On the other side, if I pull the profit center report, my profit center has got a debit, my profit center has got credit also. Here it will give me debit 100, it will give me credit 100. Now wherever you have debit and credit, you will be able to prepare financial statements or financial reports you can prepare with debit and credit information. Now at cost center level, I am only going to see what is expensed or what is incurred. So I have no problem in creating as many cost centers as I want, because I am only going to look at the expense part in it, only one side of your transaction. The other side, which is vendor, will not flow to cost center. Only expense will go here. I have no problem here. I am fine. The way you create your cost centers, I am fine. But make sure whatever the cost center you are creating, these are valid and meaningful cost centers. Which means you have to understand that this cost center is connected to this product, this profit center. Every cost center that you create must be linked or connected to a profit center. If you are able to connect your cost center to a profit center, you are fine, no questions asked. But in case there are certain cost centers which is not directly connected to a profit center, now what you are going to do with this? I am not able to assign a profit center directly to it, because this is common cost related to all the 4 products. I cannot assign this to a single profit center. If I do it, my reporting is wrong. Right? Whenever you give cost center contains profit center comes automatically. If I say, for example, this rent, you are having the same office premise wherein you are dealing with 4 departments or 4 products. Your rent is 100. Your rent is 100. If you are dealing with 4 of your products within the same office, your office rent is 100. This rent 100 will have to be shared by 4 departments or 4 products. Correct? This rent will have to be shared by 4 products, maybe equally 25-25, or I think my laptop got shut down. Okay, just a sec, let me charge my laptop. Okay, now if you are paying rent and you are operating in the single premise for your 4 of your products, if your rent is 100, do we need to share this rent with 4 products, or you will have to charge this rent to a single product? What should ideally happen? If I share to a single profit center, or if I share to a single cost center, what I'm doing is wrong. Immediately you will get a query. The moment they start looking at the reports, they will tell we have been charged more amount in our cost center or in our department in our profit center for rent. Our rent is supposed to be only 25, but it is showing us 100 in our rent. Please rectify this. Now your product, whoever it is, let's say laptop, desktop, they will not agree it. They will raise a concern stating my financials are wrong. Incorrect entries are sitting in my financials. This have to be moved. Because of this, my profit or my P&L is having an impact. Now what you'll have to do, you'll have to do an adjustment entries to move the remaining 75 to the respective cost centers. Because the total rent is not supposed to be posted in single cost center. When you see it from a cost center, we may find it okay, I am assigning rent to a cost center. But which cost center are you assigning this to? Is this cost center belonging to the respective product that this belongs to? If yes, fine. If not, then you're not supposed to assign the cost center. Creating an entry with a cost center assignment is not sufficient. With valid transaction, valid assignments is only makes clear understanding. Right? System does not know all these points. What system will do, if you have a cost element, if you're assigning a cost center, it will post the entry. But is that technically correct? Is what you are understanding, because you are the one who is posting the entry while practicing. You should have that understanding or clarity. If you are not having that understanding and clarity, you are posting it, but tomorrow people are going to ask what kind of a transactions you will post using cost centers. Or if there is any common cost, how you are going to deal with common cost, in which cost center do you recommend to post? If there is any amount in the common cost center, how you are going to deal with it, how you are going to settle the cost from common cost center to respective cost centers. Now all these points are again initiated from your initial entry. If our initial entry is clear with us, then you will understand all the subsequent processes that we are going to do. If you are confused here itself, the subsequent processes you may be understanding at bits and pieces. If I talk about this button, okay, you will understand. If I talk about the other button, you will understand. But if I talk about all this together, you will get confused. Because we have to understand in a flow. In a series, you have to understand, and then you'll have to connect every point. And these connecting points is what you have to talk when you're talking to somebody in your interview or in your project. Okay, this is the only reason why most of us will not be able to clear the interview even if we talk, even if we answer all the questions, even if you find all the question and answers on the Google, YouTube, still we will fail to answer, still we will fail to clear the interview, because not that we are talking wrong, it's just because we are talking in a wrong way. The explanation that you are giving is not convincing enough. It's all bits and pieces. So who will have to arrange it in a proper format? It is you who has to arrange everything in a proper format and give a valid, meaningful examples. The way you talk, it is easily differentiated, it is easily found out. But later on I am going to explain you how you'll have to talk and how the other person, your interviewer, is going to identify that whatever you're talking is genuine or not. Clearer? Any doubt on this cost center, profit center, whatever the examples we discussed now? Got some basic idea at least?
Yes, sir.
Right, so what I want everybody to take at least 3-4 websites and see how their product classification is maintained, so that it will be easy for you to understand profit center accounting. You open Amazon, okay, check how the classification is looking like. You open DMart, like what, you open any website, preferably any electronic web, any e-commerce website you open, wherein you can do online shopping. Because we are more familiar with it, it is easy for us to connect. Logic remains the same in every industry, but initially, to start off, you'll have to take the points to which you are more connected. Okay, so that in tomorrow's session we will finish cost center and profit center creation. One set we will create with cost center, the other set we will, one will create with LSMW, one we will create with LTMC. We will see the differences, which one is ideal for your S4 HANA, which one is ideal for your ECC. Okay, since everybody is already aware of how LTMC works, how LSMW works, we are going to quickly create this. Will not take much time like before we created Cheel. In single screen, in single session, we are going to create this. Okay, because LTMC is not going to take more than 10 minutes, LSMW is not going to take more than 15 minutes. Is that correct? 10 minutes is for your LTMC, 15 minutes maximum for your LSMW, because we are not going to upload huge data. We will be creating hardly 5 or 10 cost center or profit center. So 10-15 minutes for each is more than enough. Okay, 2 points that I want everybody to do. Point number 1, look at the list of profit centers from any of your websites and try to list out the cost centers, like departments, admin department, like this, different departments, and purchasing, marketing, finance, telecommunications, or division, anything you can create as a cost center. These 2 points if you create, and tomorrow's session when we actually create the cost center, profit center master data, you will have a fair understanding about the master data first. Once the basic master data is created, we will post some uploading transactions. After that, we will try to understand about the hierarchy. Okay, how your cost center hierarchy is created, how your profit center hierarchy is created, because this hierarchy is all about your reporting. First, we will see the basic cost center reporting, basic profit center reporting. Then I will show you the hierarchy. If you have cost center, profit center created under single hierarchy, what are the difficulties you will find in your reporting? If you create the hierarchy first and then you will create the cost center, profit center next, how it is going to help you out in your reporting, so that you will get to know these things practically on the system. There will be no confusion. Clear? All right, then let me stop this recording.